Come into the shop this morning and it was only 65 degrees in here. We've had quite the cold snap. And so I haven't even taken my coat off. Yeah, I don't want to take my coat off. I cranked the heat and I'm waiting for it to warm up. Made myself a cup of tea. And with the weather being so cold and the pressure's been going up and down, there's something I don't really talk about with very many people, but when the weather goes up and down, like the pressure goes up and down. That's something I'm sensitive to, and that's one of the things that will give me a migraine. And I've been sensitive to some things, and one of the things that will trigger a migraine for me pretty much every time is a quick barometric pressure up or down with the weather. And this has been going on not my whole life, but for since my, I don't know, kind of early 30s, so for like 20 years. So like there's some other triggers here and there, but that's like the surefire one. So the more people I talk to about this, the more people I'm hearing that are kind of in my category. So I've got some medication that that works kind of okay. One's called nartriptan, and that works. I take that when I feel a migraine coming on. So that's like during an episode. If I feel it coming, if I take that quick enough, then it'll do whatever it does to the blood cells or whatever around the brain. I think it helps to like decrease the size of the blood cells or something. And that helps. And then the migraine will subside, but I have to take them like early enough in the ramping up of the migraine process. And I've tried several different ideas around like a preventative, so like a daily pill to prevent. The one I'm on right now is like an anti-epilepsy kind of idea. I've done like antidepressant and that kind of thing before, and like a beta blocker before, and I didn't have any success with those kinds of things. This I can't remember the name of this one I'm on now, but it seems to be doing a little bit of something. So some success, I guess, with this one. But I was watching, because I bring all this up because it's been a terrible, last week was terrible. Seem to have, if I have kind of 4 migraines a month, so not always one a week, but kind of on average, 4 a month. That's not out of the ordinary for me. Sometimes 6, sometimes 8, but 4 is not out of the ordinary for me. So I had 4 last month, and then last week I had 3 in a week. So yeah, so that wasn't good. And just weather. I can track it in the weather app. You can see there's no feature in the weather app that I use. It shows not just the barometric pressure. It shows it what it's doing with the arrow, whether it's going down or equalized or up, hour by hour. So I never used to do that. I could tell what it was doing, and then I could go into the app and see, oh yeah, it's I took pills, and then I could see afterwards, oh yeah, it had switched. But now it seemed to predict, and I don't know if it's good for me to see it or not in advance, but so that's happening, and so I guess I bring this up, but I made the video and I kind of wanted to share this because I did a little bit of kind of a deep dive on not deep dive, but I searched on YouTube and tried to gather a little bit more information, current information. I hadn't done that in a while, around what people are talking about with migraines like I have. And I found an expert who was talking about treatment and having a full toolbox. And so I only have those 2 tools in my toolbox. I have the daily preventative, and I have that one tool, the pill that I take when I feel the onset of a migraine. That's all I have. And one of the things that happens to me, I'm not gonna say often, but it happens, is that I'll wake up. A migraine will wake me up from my sleep. So maybe it's sometimes through my sleep. So sometimes it's 2 or 3 in the morning. Sometimes it's 6 o'clock in the morning or something, And either way, I'll be awakened from my sleep with a migraine. The head just pounding. It's always around the orbit of my right eye. And I describe it feels like someone is like grabbing my ears and is trying to like push my eyeball through my skull, just so much pressure with their boot or something, just trying to push my eyeball through my skull. It's nuts. So I'll wake up like that. So the idea with the medication is that, when you out of 10, if you can feel it being at, the pain being a 1 or a 2, 2.5 out of 10, something before 3 out of 10 pain wise, take the pills. And like, you can't do that if you wake up and it's a 7 or an 8 and the pills don't work. If it's a 7 or an 8, you could take the pills, but they're not really designed. So my problem, that's a problem, is that I've only got those 2 tools in my toolbox, and I don't have a tool for that instance. So that kind of woke me up to that when I saw that gentleman talking about that on the video, that it's best for a migraine sufferer like me to have all of the tools you need in your toolbox, and I obviously don't have enough tools in my toolbox, because that happens to me. So he was talking about that there's sprays, there's nasal sprays, there's injections, there's lots of other things that have come a long way. They have never been offered to me. Maybe that's the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and I've been the squeaky wheel, I guess. I don't know. But so I just made a doctor's appointment to go talk to my doctor about asking for some more options and get some more tools in my toolbox for some of these instances that I have in my migraine life. So I guess I made the video to explain all of this, to maybe ask anybody who's watching this to tell me about your, please put it in the comments, what success have you had with a medication or a type of medication that maybe I should go and ask for when I go see my doctor. I'd love to have, to be armed with some information, even if it's anecdotal, to say, hey, look, what about this? What about that? And it's one thing for me just to go Google things. But if I've got someone in the comments saying, I suffer from this type or of something just like you, or whatever it is, and you know what, a spray works great for me, or I take an injection, it's called this, blah, blah, blah. So if you can put something, and I'm not saying to give me advice, medical advice, I'm just saying, tell me what works for you, and then I'll go talk to my doctor and get my own advice. You know what I mean? But any information I think would be helpful, is all I'm saying. The more the better. And if any of this conversation we have down there with each other, and any of this now helps anybody else, obviously that's great too. So okay, so that's a little bit about my life that a lot of people probably didn't know about. So thanks for listening, and I'll let you know how it goes, I guess. I won't leave you hanging. I'll give you, if I have, hopefully I have success, and I can report back and say, hey, look, we did come up with something, and this is way better now. And hopefully it doesn't take that long, because this has been going on. This whole migraine journey I've been on has been, honestly, 20 years. Yeah, right at, I'll bet you it's 20 years now. So, okay, wish me luck.